Today, we're going to be breaking down design roles. Welcome to my channel where I talk everything design. Subscribe if you're interested in these kind of topics. And we're going to use an example of a company or product that I love called Slack. Now, this is someone that creates assets for the brand. The person also works to create and curate brand personality, tone of voice, logo, colors, fonts. Basically, what they do is some internal research to know what the brand feels like, some external research to see how people perceive the brand, and they start creating assets that resonate with these. A graphic designer takes these brand guidelines and starts creating specific assets. So if you have a company like Slack where the tone of voice is kind of quirky, they start creating assets like posters, banners that have that kind of tone of voice, that kind of colors, and they use it for marketing materials. So they have things like email templates or banners, posters, white papers, brochures, whatever is marketing material for a specific campaign that the company is running. It's usually the job of the graphic designer to just keep on creating these assets. They usually work from like a core brand guideline so that there's consistency within the assets that they create. The motion designers, so they also take those brand guidelines and start creating into assets that move, like videos, GIFs, clips, animation, motion graphics. All in all, is under motion design. And sometimes they work on the websites to create those little motion interaction experiences, maybe the way a button would animate or text would loop. Now that's the job of motion design. The next one we have is web design. Now, a website is a touch point between potential leads and the brand. So whenever someone comes to the website, they usually get information of what the product or service is. In this example, Slack. So they read what Slack is about, how to download it, get all that information. It's like the main touch points between a potential lead, that's someone who might use a product, and the product itself. So a web designer kind of designs that entire experience. They usually work with a marketing team to come up with a kind of copy, landing pages. So that's what a website designer does. Now, this is the product designer. Now, this is the person that's in charge of the actual product. So it's a thing like Slack, whenever you sign up and you log in and get into the product, that is the job of the product designer, to design what that experience feels like. Where do you leave messages? Where do you view comments? How do you set reminders? How do you get in a huddle? Whatever feature that product will have is the job of the product designer to design an experience around it. UX research is quite wide. It's someone who collects data points around the brand and the product. They don't just collect, they also analyze data points and they look to get insights. So start getting things about how people talk about the brand. They start thinking about how people get in touch with the brand, what are the touch points. They look at conversion metrics. They look at things like bounce rates on the websites. They work with heat mapping tools just to see what the overall experience is like. And if they ever want to get like a new feature for the product, they talk to see what the pain points are, where the users get lost, what can be improved about the product, what do they currently do to ease these pain points. They're also in charge of finding where points of friction are and just getting all these data points, doing some sort of analysis, giving insights, and they hand this off to the UI designer, the product designer, to start creating these experiences. Now, every interface, a website, the product, every channel is made up of components. Now, a UI designer designs what these components actually look like. Buttons, accordions, input field, nav bar. What are these things gonna look like? What is the spacing system gonna be? What kind of typography do we use in the product? So anything that's visual, anything that the user is going to interact with, it's the job of the UI designer to make sure that there's a system that works. Now, here's what I consider the design role that has the widest reach: UX design. Now, this person is in charge of the experience of the user. And this person does pretty much everything that other designers do. They do things in UX research, they do things in UI design, web design, product design. Basically, wherever there's friction for the user, or wherever there's something that needs to be improved upon, It's the job of the UX designer to ensure that this person is getting the best possible experience. And anywhere they're not getting that experience, the job of this person to find out what that gap is. Is it a problem in the UI? Is it a problem with the brand, the messaging? Is it a problem with the copy? Is it a problem with the performance of the page? Is this person that's supposed to come in and identify where that problem is? And also the high level experience, they're also in charge of designing it. So this is where the person comes in through the brand, this is where the person comes in through the website, and this is how long it takes for the person to actually get this product or service. So they do things like flow maps, wireframes, really high level of what must be done next to get the user's best experience. It costs a lot of money, costs a lot of time for someone to get to know what a product is or even get to use a product. Now, it's the job of anybody in design or user experience to ensure that this person has the best possible experience. You might do things in brand and graphic design, which is more about communication and marketing, but overall, design is making sure people are happy, satisfied, keep coming back, and they tell their friends about it. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next one.